ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So we are gathered today. Are you wondering why 6 a.m. in the morning? Y'all can put it in the chat box, unmute and answer, no problem. Is it a comfortable time? I think बहुत जन के लिए सुबह 6 बजे आना is not very comfortable. But the very purpose of this is that we are fresh early morning. It's the most sattvic hour. हमारा chanting japa होने के बाद this is a good time to sit and learn something. It goes fresh and very less likely to be disturbed by the children, the difficult children we are going to be talking about. Okay, so I have a question for you here. I want you to reflect who, according to you, is a difficult child. Put it in the chat boxes. I want answer from everybody. आपके हिसाब से who is a difficult child? Take 1 minute. I'll give you 1 minute. Because you have come for here this seminar today, तो कुछ तो idea होगा. What's that difficulty you're facing? It will help me customize today's session for you. Who is a difficult child according to you? Come on, I want to see some answers. Who doesn't listen at all? Yes. जो बिल्कुल भी सुनता नहीं है. Headstrongness, disobedience, great. Yes. Great. Anybody else? Other children? बस बच्चे ही difficult होते हैं in general. सारे बच्चे difficult होते हैं. Children who don't understand, yes, they are more into their own world rather than ours. Yes. So beautiful answers these are. And we all face these difficulties with our children, isn't it? Some of us may have really be blessed with great children जो हमारी हर बात मानते हैं, जो हमको बिल्कुल परेशान नहीं करते हैं, जो बिल्कुल मस्ती नहीं करते हैं. At least in front of others they behave. You know, some of us have the blessing of those kids as well, while some of us have these crazy kids who test all our patience. So let's go a little deeper. I have a question for you. I want you to write it down. Remember, I asked you to bring your notepads and pens, and please put it in the chat as well so that I understand it as well. Share one of your strengths, okay? Just one. I know you all are very strong parents with a lot of good qualities, but today I want you to reflect and find your best strength, okay? Honestly, please, no artificial humility. I don't want answers like, मेरे में कोई strength नहीं है, I'm good for nothing. No, everybody all of us are blessed with some good quality and good strengths. We have our traits, right? So share one of it, okay, which is the best. Next question that you'll answer is, what is the one thing you admire most about your parents? So we all have parents, and whoever was your parent, think about them and what is the one thing that you admire most in them. I just want one answer, not more than that. And then write one thing you admire most about your child. Okay, take 2 minutes. You will understand why I'm asking you to go through these exercises, because I want you to have an open mind. That is why I'm getting done with the questions in advance. So, one of your strengths, yes, listening, giving space, even your parents, right? Superb. So, you have imbibed that quality from your parents, it seems. Yeah. Sometimes we cannot understand the perspective of our parents, and sometimes we cannot understand the perspective of our children, and vice versa. Great. I'm liking that you all are answering. तो सो नहीं रहे ना, ये पता चलता है. What else? What else? I'm sure all of you are very strong people. Give me one strength, one trait that you admire about your parents, one trait that you admire about your children. Very loving and sweet when he's in a good mood. Okay, just also put me the name in, maybe not the name, but at least age and gender of your child, like boy 5 years, girl 6 years, so that I get an idea of what is the children age group that we are dealing with. Your strength, that you're very laborious. Parents always loving to you, great. Children innocent, although difficult. Yeah, they're innocent. Great. Great share. Strength, creative, that I know. Parents selflessly love me. Children loves me. Pure at heart. Great. Excellent. Superb. Wonderful. You have two boys. Welcome to the team. Super. So mostly it's all two boys. Girls, great. We have some girls. Great. And let me tell you, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि boys है तो ज़्यादा difficult होंगे and girls है तो they'll not be difficult at all. Okay, that it doesn't work that way. They're all difficult children for most of us. Yes. All right. So I want to understand before we go on this slide and you'll read my answers. They are not really answers, but I just want to understand that what, according to you, could be the reason that your children are difficult? अगर वो सुनते नहीं है तो क्यों नहीं सुनते? What according to you is generally a reason that children don't listen? I know मैं सुबह सुबह बहुत सोचने लगा रही हूँ. Just think about it and let me know. What according to you is the reason that your kids do not listen to you at all? Okay, that's a great realization. Not able to put things forward in their way. Yes. Sometimes we can't meet them where they are. What else? Why do you think children don't listen? Or they misbehave, or they throw tantrums, or they are headstrong? We are going deeper. What else? Come on. Understanding gap, yes, that generation gap, that is always going to be there. बचपन में हम सोचते थे हम ऐसे पेरेंट्स नहीं बनेंगे, but ultimately हम वैसे ही पेरेंट्स बन जाते हैं. Things are overwhelming for them, yes, when pressure from everywhere. Great, excellent. Maybe not able to articulate and get to the core of their feeling, yes, true. Maybe they don't understand why we are telling something. Correct. Yes. Okay. Excellent. Okay. Okay. So I have read this. Let's now look at, I have picked up some reasons. I have picked up some very common ones. There is more to this, but for the sake of today's seminar, to do justice to the topics, I've picked up only 5. Okay. Most likely cause for a child to misbehave. Okay. So there are different things. Of course, there are impressions, there are some scars, there are some triggers, there are their own temperament types. They're going through something. Sometimes it could be a physical disease, a physical discomfort, an emotional, a psychological issue that they're dealing with. Their inner demons. Like we all have seen Tare Zameen Par, right? And in Tare Zameen Par, the child was dyslexic, so he was having an inner demon to deal with, a issue to deal with, and his way of dealing with it was very obstinate, right? So there could be some or the other reason. Here I have listed 5, but these 5 are not the only reasons, but these are the most common, most likely reasons. Now, some of you may say that I have done everything right. Like we as parents are very conscious, we do everything right. And even then, if you're having difficulty, what could be the issue that I'm going to be covering towards the end? Okay. So be with me, be patient. It may seem like, हाँ, ये तो पता है, लेकिन we are going to dig deeper. Okay. So the first reason is unwanted pregnancy. Okay. So when I talk about unwanted pregnancy, it could be unplanned pregnancy, it could be a gender bias, or it could be some stress that you went through throughout your pregnancy. Now, what is unplanned pregnancy? Pregnancy that happens without Garbhadan Samskar. Okay. So even if you thought of bringing a child into this world, even if you were ready, when you do not perform Garbhadan Samskar, you run a risk of attracting a not very helpful soul. Okay. That risk is always going to be there even without Garbhadan Samskar. Suppose, like, it was an accidental pregnancy. Your first reaction, your energy is that I don't want this baby. Immediately the baby feels rejected. And it may not seem so, but this reaction of yours, and the more you dwell on it, the more there is rejection, the more there is, I don't want this child, that push away, the more the child will be difficult with you. I've, in fact, and gender bias. It's not just wanting a male child, it's also wanting a female child. I had one boy, and then when we planned our second baby, I was praying for a girl child. Now, I read this somewhere in an Ayurvedic book by an Ayurvedic doctor where research was conducted. There was a parent who, like me, would, or like most of us, wanted a girl child, and they communicated so often, like, I really want a girl child. I want a girl child. अगर लड़का होगा तो मैं accept ही नहीं कर पाऊंगी. This, that. It was so frequently communicated that the moment the baby was born, he was a healthy baby, very healthy baby, no complication. But the moment they say it's a boy and it's not a girl, the baby died. And it's a true story. And knowing that, I instantly stopped myself from rejecting that baby and started praying that I really want a healthy baby, irrespective of the baby being boy or girl. So this gender bias could be one of the reasons. Okay. Next, physical, mental, and emotional stress. During pregnancy, if the mother or the environment has been physically stressful, mentally stressful, or emotionally stressful, they are going to have some or the other complications, these children. So we have to understand where is it coming from. I'm going to talk about what you can do about it as well. But we are now, I want you to sink in the reasons, was this the cause? Was this one of the reasons that you had, and how to work on it? We'll talk about it a little later. Okay. Next, unhealthy parental relationships. Okay. Fights among parents, constant arguments, constant fighting, disrespectful communication. When you do not respect your partner, mother not respecting the father or father not respecting the mother in front of the children constantly, if the see understand from a child's perspective, children love both their parents and they don't want their parents to be treated in any kind of negative way. They would not want their father to be treated in a bad way. They would not want their mothers to be treated in a bad way. And when they see this happening, and especially the feeling that they can't do anything about it, they are going to bring it out as disobedience. They are going to bring it out as tantrums because there is unresolved energy. There is something that they can't do anything about, and that anger is building up in their body, and that will come out as misbehavior. Another thing is lack of quality family time. I'm going to emphasize on that because some of us, we have family time. I'm going to talk about it later. But if it is not of good quality, like y'all are sitting together and doing something together, that's quality family time. Not everybody in the same room, but all busy on their mobile phones. That is not quality family time. Okay. So when there is lack of quality family times, again, children feel neglected. Okay. Next. The third reason is imitations of parents' behavior. Sometimes, it is the parent who are not listening. Sorry. Parents who have a behavior that मैं क्यों सुनूं किसी की वो देखते हैं कि मेरे पापा अपने पापा की नहीं सुनते तो मैं क्यों सुनूं उनकी Or my mother does not listen to my father, so why should I listen to my father? Or my father does not listen to my mother, so why should I listen to my mother? You know, so they develop this. Sometimes this imitation comes. So most likely they imitate their parents because that's the closest relationship they have. A little less likely, but still, in the picture is grandparents. कि अगर grandparents का nature है चिल्लाना, बहुत जोर से बात करना, या फिर नहीं सुनना, तो sometimes children tend to, but it's less likely, okay? So don't go and blame your parents now. Most likely they'll adopt only parental behavior. Very less in scenarios where parents are not at all in the picture, like morning to night they're working. Only then, when the child is with the grandparent more than they are with parents, then they imbibe their natures, okay? Or if they are influenced by them a lot. And very less likely is the teachers or anybody else, the close adults that are there. So that particular scenario is the least likely, but still, that could be one of the probable cause. So you might want to explore your environment and the people who are in your child's life to know that, could they be influencing them? The fourth reason is the child feeling abandoned or unheard. Okay. So, for example, if you are not able to give them enough time or enough attention, then the child may feel abandoned. The child may feel like, my parents don't love me. Yeah. Time division between siblings, especially जब छोटा बच्चा आता है घर में, whenever they have a younger sibling, the elder one starts feeling abandoned. They start having tantrum. They start throwing anger. मुझे time नहीं देते हो, मुझे प्यार नहीं करते हो. These are the constant things you are going to be listening. Okay. And lack of mindful time. See, the family time, I am really focusing on it so much that you need to have some family time. So lack of family time together can also lead to difficult behaviors. For example, now since I've spoken about this last and even in this slide, I'm going to put a little light on it. You may say that, but माता जी हम लोग तो बहुत साथ में बहुत कुछ करते हैं, हम घूमने जाते हैं, मूवीज देखते हैं, हम बातें करते हैं, बट आप क्या बातें करते हो? आप मूवी देखने जाते हो तो आर यू ऑल इंटरेक्टिंग अमंग आवरसेल्व्स? जब आप घूमने जाते हो तब क्या वो टाइम फुल्ली है? सी, व्हेन वी वर किड्स, our parents did not have Facebook, they did not have Instagram, they did not have WhatsApp. वो लोग अगर जॉब पे भी जाते थे तो they would go on a job, come back, and when they came back, that time was completely belonging to the kids. Undivided attention. So when we talk about quality family time, what I'm really saying is you have to make sure that you are listening to the children. सुन रहे हैं वो क्या बोल रहे हैं, भले उनका बात कितना भी पेटी है. At least once in a week, that's the minimum you have to do. Every day it will be great, but at least once in a week you should have a time for Ishta Goshti, as we call it. So we put it on our chart, like, and if we miss it in our daily rhythm, then at least once in a week we sit together, give half an hour, give 20 minutes, talk to your kids. What do you want? How was your day? What did you do? Who did you play with? And they want to come home and tell you everything if they have gone out to play. Listening to that is very important, no matter how petty it is. हम क्या करते हैं कभी कभी जब बच्चा अपना प्रॉब्लम बोलने जाता है कि मम्मा ऐसा हुआ या पापा ऐसे हो रहा है, तो हम इंस्टेंटली सोल्यूशन देने के पीछे पड़ते हैं. दैट्स नॉट द राइट वे ऑफ बीइंग टुगेदर. यू हैव टू लेट देम स्पीक आउट. कभी भी as an adult also, when you're trying to talk, and if somebody cuts you in between and tries to offer you a solution without even listening to you completely, how would you like it? Would you like that? Do you think that's a very happy thing? Or do you feel good about it? No, right? So how will a child feel nice about being unheard? They're being unheard, isn't it? And next reason, is mainly their temperaments. Yeah, and we don't understand what their temperaments are. Clash of temperaments could be one of the reasons. Like your temperament and your child's temperament is opposite. Say you are like phlegmatic and your child is completely sanguine. So it's opposite temperaments, isn't it? So this opposite temperament will cause a clash. And sometimes that could be a reason where the child feels my parents don't like me. Similar temperaments can sometimes lead to fight as well. For example, both are cholerics. They will both start fighting. Yeah. And next would be lack of information. You don't know. How many of you here know about what a temperament is? If not, you have to go back to Kadamba Garden and look at the videos. But any idea? What's a temperament? Tell me. Temperament क्या होता है? What is a temperament? State of mind? Okay. Swabhav? Yes. Very good. Attitude to situations? Yes. So these all things are a part of temperament, but if I have to translate it, I will call temperament matlab swabhav, and you cannot change that. Now let's look at what to do when this has happened. So I'm going to go back through all the slides and give you if this has happened, what you do now. Okay. So if suppose you did this, okay, you could not have Garbhadan Samskar, or you were gender biased during your pregnancy, or you were through a lot of stress, you know, there is something called, because this is all energy, when pregnancy is happening or anything is happening, it's all about the energy that was communicated. आपने अपने बच्चे को नहीं बोला कि तुम चले जाओ यहाँ से, but it was your personal energy, your state of mind, your effectiveness that got communicated. Whatever was going on in your mind, that energy got communicated to the child, and that energy was frustrated. So, what can we do? We calm our own energies. How do you do that? There are many ways to calm our own energies. You can learn some modalities like pranic healing, Reiki, or you could do emotional freedom techniques, EFT tappings. You could do some meditation. You can do relaxation. Mantra meditation is the most powerful. Whatever works for you, with the intention that I want to heal this particular relationship because I made this mistake. You have to consciously work towards it. No matter what is happening, no matter wherever you are in the stage of life. And if suppose you are, for example, बहुत टाइम हो गया है, यू मे से कि पर मेरा बच्चा अभी 15 साल का है, 20 साल का है, तो अब जाके भी रिलेशन ठीक होगा? होगा, क्यों नहीं होगा? बिकॉज I have worked with clients. Okay, I have worked with clients who have had issues when they were in their mother's womb. They have very good relationship with their parents, but they developed some challenge, anger suppression or procrastination or fear or lot of things due to the mother's state of mind during the pregnancy. They developed this challenge and they were struggling with it. Yeah. So it may be so. It may be ki, after 20 years also your child will be affected. After 50 years also your child will be affected. So good place to start is now, where you put an intention. I want to heal. Picture that you did, you didn't do what you did. You visualize that I am very happy and grateful to have this child every morning when you begin your day. Put this intention for 21 days and see the difference. If this was one of your status, put this intention. I want to heal. Spend just 5 minutes. Picture that your relationship with your child is healing. They are accepted, girl or boy. Now that they have come, planned or unplanned, Garbhadan Samskar or no Samskar, they have come. And especially for if you couldn't perform Garbhadan Samskar, mantra chanting really helps overcome that, with the intention that whatever impressions were created on me and my child and on this relationship, that is healed now. Okay. And then you can continue, like, then you can go through the day. So this unwanted pregnancy, because that you cannot erase that past, you cannot undo it. The only thing you can do is heal it. अब गिर गए हैं, चोट लग गई है, तो उस पे क्या करेंगे? दवाई लगाएंगे? उसको undo किसी तरह से नहीं कर सकते हैं. So you can heal this situation this way. That is why it is very important. Every household, at least you should try and learn something for conscious and mindful living. Meditations, Reiki, EFT, crystal therapy, whatever you can do for conscious living. That's very important. And having that time together, like personally, if my children are feeling angry, I do tapping with them. And every night before going to bed, I give them both Reiki. That's like a night ritual Where I sleep with them, I ask them to thank Krishna, thank Reiki, thank everybody around them for such a wonderful day. We say our prayers, and I give them Reiki for just 2-3 minutes. And when I do that, they are so peaceful in their sleep, and they are peaceful the next day. And believe me, it shows the day I miss it. They will be cranky, they will not be listening. This is my personal experience, but it will be different for all of you. But this, I'm telling you very confidently that it works. This intention, morning utne ke saath aap khud kar rahe ho, and when you're going to sleep, you're offering it to your children. Yeah, making having that time, whatever your day was, before going to bed, you have to hug them. You have to let them know that you love them. You may not have liked the behavior, but you love them. Yeah. Next. So in this unhealthy parental relationship, solution is to avoid avoid fighting in front of your children. Stop yourself from disrespecting your partner and try to bring in the quality time. Yeah. Because this will then help you overcome. So suppose you may say that, but Mataji, there's a lot of anger still. We feel angry. We feel how to control that anger. I'm going to tell you exactly how to control the anger. But in this moment, I'll just share that if you fight for some reason, you happen to fight in front of the children, immediately, the moment you realize this was wrong, apologize to your partner in front of the children. You have to let them see, okay, adults fight, but they should also understand how to apologize, how to mend, because they are also going to lose their temper. They are also going to be disrespectful. They are also going to fight. So it is very important that when this happens, you apologize also in front of them and try and at least, see, fight something we cannot avoid, but at least respectful communication is something we can practice. Yeah, we have to practice, because what happens is when we are angry, we communicate in the language that we have learned from our parents, how they communicated when they were angry. So some people may have a habit of shouting loudly. Some people may have a habit of just being quiet when they are angry. Some people may even hit. Some people, whatever they learned, the same language. आप गुस्से में ना वही चीजें अपने बच्चों को बोलते हो जो आपके पेरेंट्स ने आपको बोली थी, because that's how you have learned it, and that's what you will pass on. So who can stop? You cannot blame your parents. They were individuals. They did the best they could. They were not wrong, I would say. They were helpless. They may not have had help. They had limited experiences. Okay? And with that, they did the best they could. But you have to take responsibility of your children, of your life forward, and then put a stop to it. No, I'm not going to do what my mother did, or I'm not going to do what my father did. I'm going to pause here, be respectful. Even when I'm angry, be respectful. Yeah. So that way, when your relationship heals, you can have more better, you will see the difference in your children. Okay. Now, imitations that children do, obviously, if you put on good behavior, your children will automatically follow. So, whenever I see you observe 3 or 4-year-old kids, they talk exactly the language the parents talk. If you are a person who is busy all the time running around, if you are that workaholic, that same energy is transferred to your child. If you are a calm person, that same energy, even if your child is overactive, they learn to be a little calmer in your presence. Okay. So we have, we cannot tell them when you say कि बच्चे सुनते नहीं है, most of you said that कि बच्चे सुनते नहीं है. The very fact बच्चे सुनते नहीं है because उनको समझता ही नहीं है. Okay. They don't understand language. They don't comprehend what you're saying. It takes a long time for them to understand what you're speaking completely. If I'm going to ask you to take 1 minute, okay, just 1 minute. Go back, think about your childhood. कौन सी बातें आपको याद है? किस एज से आपको बातें याद है? मे बी 2-3 साल के कुछ इंसिडेंट्स याद होंगे, 4 साल के 5 साल के कुछ इंसिडेंट्स याद होंगे आपको, बट what exactly do you remember? Words कब से याद है? कौन से एज से आपको वर्ड्स याद है? Take a minute. Let me know. You are remembering things from what age? 7, 8, yes. 10, great. सी यू मे रिमेम्बर 2-3 बातें तो 2 साल की एज की भी याद होंगी। कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट इवेंट्स, कुछ ऐसे ही रैंडम इवेंट्स आपको याद होंगे। 2 साल के थे, 3 साल के थे, 4 साल के थे। बट यू नो प्रॉपर कम्युनिकेशंस, proper words, from what age do you remember? Your mother telling you something or your father telling you something. Yeah, it takes a long time to remember. Why? Because you started understanding language at that age. Mostly after 10. मोस्टली आपको 10 साल के पहले का ना कुछ एपिसोड्स फन या बहुत ज्यादा डरावना या बहुत ज्यादा बहुत एक्सट्रीम इमोशन जो आपने एक्सपीरियंस किया था, यू मे रिमेम्बर दैट एक्सट्रीम इमोशनल मोमेंट्स, बट प्रॉपर कॉन्वर्जेशन यू डोंट रिमेम्बर अंटिल यू वर 10, at least minimum, like you know, the even if you have a very good memory, and I'm not talking about geniuses with eidetic memories, okay, I'm talking about normal common people. So we remember from very late on because we understand communication at very late in life. So children, there's a lot going on in a child's inner world that is, और कितनी बार ऐसा हुआ है जब आपने कुछ सोचा है, आप एज अ चाइल्ड आपने कुछ अपना आइडिया लगा के कुछ किया, बट वो पेरेंट्स के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से गलत था, है ना? This is also one thing that happens, that you may have thought कि okay, let me cook this, let me boil the milk and my mother is going to like कि आज मैंने दूध उबाल के रख दिया है, I'm just giving an example, but maybe मम्मी ने वो दूध अभिषेक के लिए रखा होगा, उसको पकाना ही नहीं था, she'll get angry and she must have shouted at you कि अरे किसको पूछ के उबाला, क्यों किया तुमने ये काम? तो बच्चे का रिएक्शन क्या होता है? करो तो भी प्रॉब्लम, नहीं करो तो भी प्रॉब्लम. So this miscommunication is going on happening, isn't it? This is happening with them क्योंकि उन्होंने कुछ सोचा और वो काम किया, and आपका पर्सपेक्टिव कुछ और था, differences of perspective. So what you command, it's always important to stop and understand why they did something. Yeah. So they imitate you and we can change that only by being good role model, because आप कुछ भी बोलो वो सिर्फ आपका एक्शन और आपका टोनालिटी, आपका पिच यही लेने वाले हैं, आपके वर्ड्स नहीं लेने वाले. एंड द ओनली वे टू हेल्प देम अंडरस्टैंड समथिंग इज बाय बीइंग व्हाट यू वांट देम टू बी, being yourself. We cannot control our पेरेंट्स. सो उनके दादा दादी नाना नानी को हम चेंज नहीं कर सकते हैं, उनके टीचर्स, उनके बाकी एडल्ट्स को हम चेंज नहीं कर सकते हैं, बट हम खुद को चेंज कर सकते हैं. तो दैट इज वेयर वी आर वर्किंग. व्हेन वी बिकम समबडी दैट इज यू नो इमैक्युलेबल फॉर देम, जो उसको वो जिनको अपना रोल मॉडल मान सके, अगर हम वैसे पर्सन बनते हैं तब जाके यू नो वी कैन सी सम चेंजेस इन देम. ओके, नेक्स्ट, when children are feeling abandoned or unheard, what do? You may say that, but I give lot of time, my whole time is theirs. मैंने जॉब छोड़ दिया, मैं उनके साथ ही रहती हूँ या उनके पीछे ही रहते हैं. जब सैटरडे संडे होता है एटलीस्ट हम मेक श्योर करते हैं कि हम उनको अच्छा खासा टाइम दे. हम बहुत अटेम्प्ट करते हैं कि दोनों सिबलिंग्स में बराबर बराबर का टाइम हो. Some things are just out of hand. You know how much time is required for you to have a good relationship with your child every day? 20 minutes. That's it. 20 quality minutes. If you can give this 20 quality minutes every day to your children, quality minutes, I'm going to elaborate on that, you will see a lot of difference in their behavior. When I talk about 20 quality minutes, no mobile phone, no sibling also in the picture. समझो छोटा बच्चा है घर में, उसको किसी और के साथ बाहर भेजो या उसको सुला दो उस टाइम पे. So when you do that, these 20 quality minutes are going to change everything for you. Only listening, speaking less. You have to listen to what they have to say, because once they reach their teenage, some of you are very close to teenage. Once they reach their teenage, they are not going to give you this time. They are not going to want to talk to you. You have very little time. Actually, जब तक आपका बच्चा 10 साल का होता है, that's 80% of the time you have had with the child. 10 साल से बाद उसका जितना भी टाइम आपके पास है, that's only 20%. Your time with your child, 80% of it is up till your child is 10 years old. That's all you can, whatever you can do only in this time. Many parents with teenagers who are very difficult come to me. That's why I said difficult children and not difficult teenagers, because teenagers by default are difficult only. It's their उनका डीएनए ही वैसा सेट है हमारा कि हम टीनेज में डिफिकल्टी होते हैं. But when children, so that's when you can actually work on them. I'm not saying that you cannot heal your relationship with a teenager, but it becomes 10 times more difficult than it would be when they were below that 10 ka age gap. Especially if you did your 0 to 5 right, you don't have to worry about much about. There will be some difficulties, but overall, जैसे बोलते हैं ना मोटा मोटी अच्छा ही रहेगा. 1 day, 2 days, you may have difficulties, but overall, you will have a peaceful time with the child. So, this lack of time, attention that they feel, and mindful time, it has to be totally them in your mind. Your mind cannot be thinking about cooking. Your mind cannot be thinking about this appointment, this work, that work. It's 20 minutes undivided attention to your child every day at a fixed time. So, what's the best thing? Before going to bed, they sleep knowing that, my mother listened to me. You know what happens when you do that? The child feels my parents love to listen to me. That is what they should feel. My parents love to have me. My parents love me. They want me. They enjoy being with me. And when we say ना अरे परेशान मत करो, अरे मुझे बस ये important काम करके मैं आ रही हूँ, फिर वो important काम करने के बाद मुझे खाना बनाना है, फिर वो खाना बनाने के बाद अरे पहले खा लो फिर बात करेंगे, फिर खाने we constantly keep cutting them. Constantly. पहले रेडी हो जाओ, खेल के आए, अच्छा पहले हाथ मुँह धो लो फिर बात करते हैं. हाथ मुँह धो रहा है, अच्छा पहले कपड़े पहन लो बात करते हैं, पहले खाना खा लो बात करते हैं. वी आर कॉन्स्टेंटली ऑन अ रश. अरे नहीं, टाइम स्केड्यूल, टाइम स्केड्यूल, टाइम स्केड्यूल. That needs to stop. And you have to give undivided, mindful time. आया ना खेल के, क्या खेला, गिरा, चोट लगी, बात कर लो 10 मिनट, जर्म्स नहीं चढ़ेंगे उनके. 10 मिनट बात कर लो तभी, 5 मिनट बात कर लो तभी. Let them, because they're coming with an energy and excitement to speak. मम्मा को ये बताता हूँ, पापा को ये बताता हूँ, एंड पापा इज लाइक पहले हाथ धो लो, पहले ये कर लो. फिर भी वो पेशेंटली वेट करता रहता है, करता रहता है, करता रहता है, एंड फाइनली गिव्स अप, बिकॉज हमारे पास टाइम होगा ही नहीं कभी. बिकॉज आई अंडरस्टैंड वी आर बिजी, वी आर ऑल बिजी, इवन इफ यू आर नॉट वर्किंग, इवन इफ यू आर फुल टाइम होम मेकर, यू आर बिजी. I get it. It's obvious. Even if you are I'm mainly talking about mothers here because they are more with the children than the fathers. But even for a father, it is important. A father's presence and attention and appreciation and lessons to the child is more important than what a mother does. Mother is there like a full-time nurturer. Mother उनका ना एक परछाई बन जाती है. So they don't really like, they are very comfortable in that zone. जैसे वो घर की मुर्गी kind of scenario यहाँ पे. लेकिन father is like that entity जो कभी कभी आते हैं घर में for the child, like he's very rarely available. बहुत कम मिलते हैं, तो वो ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंस रखते हैं बच्चों के लिए. बिजी होते हैं फादर्स पूरे दिन, तो जब उनका अटेंशन मिलता है, दे फील इवन मोर स्पेशल. सो अगर आपके पास सिर्फ एक संडे मिल रहा है, उसका एक हिस्सा आप बच्चों को दे दो. Play with them, sit together and play indoor games with them. Very important. Play what they like to play, not what you think is good for their brain development. They may just like to play stone, paper, scissors. They may just want to play some stupid, silly game, but enjoy their game with them, not what you think. इससे better ये खेलो ना. And it's okay to allow them, while I propagate and while I really am a strong preacher of no mobile phones, but it's okay to have a 20 minutes weekly TV time or a half an hour weekly TV time and watch something with them, which is just fun, which is a simple cartoon just for fun without too much logic. That's why I'm saying 20 minutes a week, because they'll not remember the content. This content you are to watch with them, not just them. नॉट उनको नहीं मोबाइल देके छोड़ देना है और अपना फ्री हो जाना है, नहीं. इट्स अ सो वी डोंट वॉच समथिंग बट वी लिसन. मी एंड माय किड्स, वी लिसन टू स्टोरी once in a week. So every Sunday we'll play a story which is random, no meaning or something. कोई अच्छी सी story कहीं पे भी, YouTube पे कहीं से भी, and we'll close the mobile phone and we just sit together and listen to it and we enjoy and we discuss that story. So that's our time together. Sometimes because you may not want to talk, so this is what you can do together, and that works. If you have met my child, they are like super energy packets. they want to jump all day. Sona nahi hai unko. They have very little sleep. They want to play, they want to talk, they want to do everything, but their energies are still manageable because you have that time together. So they are comfortable. Even when the parents are then not around, they will be comfortable. You know? And very important is to understand, educate yourself about their temperament. Because when you know what is a sanguine, what is a choleric, what is a melancholy, what is a phlegmatic, it will become easy for you to handle them. You will know कि इसको डांट सकती हूँ या नहीं, इसको क्या ऐसे करूँ to follow. I'll quickly tell you. For sanguines, आप उसको डांटे बिना उसको सुधार नहीं सकते. You have to be very strict with them. Keep them in place. For cholerics, आप उनको डांट ही नहीं सकते हो, especially not in front of others. So you have to set rules for them. You have to set fixed rules कि ये rule follow करो, and you have to see through your rules. For melancholies, you will never have to worry. Melancholies means they'll always be, but the problem with them is छोटा सा गलती and they'll be oversensitive. They will think that ये बोल दिया मुझे, वो बोल दिया, ऐसा हो गया, वैसा हो गया, हर एक बात का वो बहुत खींचते हैं, and that can be overbearing sometimes. And so for them you can be a little sensitive at the early age, and जैसे जैसे वो बड़े होते हैं you can start training them to let go things. Journaling is a good practice for them. Okay, actually for everybody, but especially for melancholies, you have to make them journal. Write down their emotions every day, and especially write down a gratitude journal every day. It's very important. And for phlegmatics, you have to get them to work because they like to laze around and do nothing. They are the saints of your house, but you have to teach them to stand up for themselves. You have to make them, कुछ ऐसे अपने लिए खड़े रहने का सिखाना है उनको. So this is just a one-liner about temperaments, but it's very important that you understand what is your temperament, what is your child temperaments, what's happening between you two. Because when you really get this temper, जब आप उनकी नस पकड़ लोगे, उनका स्वभाव समझ लोगे, तो उनको समझना समझाना दोनों easy हो जाता है. It's very, very easy. Yeah. So that was the top 5. I want to take some little time and talk to you about this program that we have, Akriti. Okay, because ये free seminars में I cannot cover everything. There is like a pool of topics that is there. So I'm going to just briefly tell you. So we have Akriti, which is divided into 3 modules: the conscious parent, homeschooler, and enabler. Some of you have already attended Akriti program with us, where we covered the first 2 modules. But this time I'm introducing the third module, which is the enabler module. So even if you have done this, you will benefit from at least this enabler module. So what I'm just going to briefly tell you about all the topics that I'm going to be covering. So in Panchakosha, we talk about at what age group, what Ayurveda and Vedas say about the development of child. There is a Panchakosh development from 0 to 21. And how that happens, what you need to do at that age, what works at that age will be covered in this particular topic. What nutrition? So there's a nutrition expert which will come on board who will answer all your questions. What is the right nutrition? Because YouTube pe there are so many fads. Give fruits, give vegetables, give this, give that. You have to understand from an expert what's right for your child depending on their body type and what's right for you. Healthy living. Okay. 3 important phases of child growth. Every 7 years, your body physically changes. And that brings a change in the physiology also. So we are going to understand the 3 important phases of child growth. We are going to understand how a child develops from 0 to 21, how the body develops, and what is then happening in the child's inner world, how to use stories to correct behavior, to bring healing, therapeutic stories, fairy tales. हर एक story का क्या purpose है? We should not outrightly reject fairy tales also. And what are the fairy tales that you can take from Shastras? What is the type? Fairy tale मतलब क्या? हमारे लिए fairy tale मतलब Cinderella and Snow White. But there is more to fairy tales than just these Western fairy tales. You can pick up fairy tales from even your Shastras, but how to identify and what age group will benefit from that? Yeah. Handling difficult children. What I'm doing today is just tip of the iceberg. There is a lot of deeper things that are there in handling difficult children that we'll discuss in this course. We'll talk about interpersonal relationship. We'll talk about how you can be the perfect parent for your child, understanding your child's inner world through their drawings. When they draw something, how you can use those elements to know what's going on. When they scribble something, when they talk, everything, you using everything, उनका color choices, वो कैसे draw कर रहे हैं, कैसे scribble कर रहे हैं, ये सब use करके how we can understand what's going on in them. The language comprehension, how use of language will help you get the right result from your child. आप सिर्फ अपना लैंग्वेज चेंज करने से आप अपने बच्चे से सब कुछ करवा सकते हो, ट्रस्ट मी, ऐसा मैनिपुलेशन मैं करती हूँ. And keeping them, rooted in the cultural values, that's very very important, because एक झाड़ को बढ़ने के लिए, बहुत बड़ा होने के लिए, आसमान छूने के लिए उसका डीपली रूटेड होना बहुत जरूरी है, और मिट्टी का अच्छा होना बहुत जरूरी है, उसके ग्राउंड फाउंडेशन बहुत स्ट्रांग होनी चाहिए. सो हाउ टू बिल्ड दैट, without boring them. Okay. And bringing Krishna, or if you're not a Krishna follower, then how you bring spirituality in everyday life. Because when you grow up, you are preparing your child with all the information and skills that is required. Okay. But when you grow up, when as an adult, you are facing so much stress, so much anxiety, work pressure, relationship problems, heartbreaks, trauma. So many things are going to come in an individual's way. And how are you equipping your child to deal with them? Are you giving them any mechanism to understand how to handle their emotions? Yeah. So this is what we are going to cover in conscious parenting. Homeschooler, although it is mainly intended for homeschooling parents, जो बच्चों को घर पे पढ़ाते हैं, but it will help anybody, even if you're sending your child to school, because you understand the logic behind the subjects, how the syllabus is planned, how you can use maths, painting, English, science, history, geography, everything, to not just teach the subject, but to also give them values. Even maths can be used. The whole universe is maths. Yeah. So how to use this maths to give them values, how to use this science to understand, let them understand their body, their physical body as well as their physiological body. How to use history, how to use geography, how to use civics, social skills, all the social sciences, how to use languages. सी एक सिंपल एग्जाम्पल देती हूँ मैं, छोड़ो मत मारो, इसको पंक्चुएशन कर दूंगी, छोड़ो के बाद अगर मैं कॉमा लगा दूंगी तो छोड़ो मत मारो, और छोड़ो मत मारो, सो मच डिफरेंस, सेम वर्ड्स, पूरा मीनिंग चेंज हो जाता है सेंटेंसेस का. सो सिमिलरली हाउ टू यूज लैंग्वेज एज अ वेरी वेरी पावरफुल टूल, क्योंकि वंस दे आर परफेक्ट इन देयर लैंग्वेज, दे विल नेवर हैव डिफिकल्टी इन राइटिंग देयर आंसर्स. प्रैक्टिकल अगर मैं कोई इसका बेनिफिट बताऊं, तो व्हेन दे आर गिविंग देयर बोर्ड एग्जाम्स, व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन अ गुड एंड एन एवरेज स्टूडेंट? हाउ दे हैव कम्युनिकेटेड देयर आंसर, दैट्स इट. पढ़ते तो सारे बच्चे हैं, आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट चिल्ड्रन हु डोंट वांट टू स्टडी, बट इवन आफ्टर स्टडिंग सो मच, you need to also learn to present it, to communicate it. So that all you can help your child with, and in an easy way. And if they are finding difficulty somewhere, you can teach them at home, help them, overcome that difficulty. And all age groups, this is for all age groups. So that is what I'll be doing in the second module. And the third module, that is the enabler module, has, I'm going to actually teach you EFT tapping. Okay. So not the entire, I'm not an EFT trainer, but I practice EFT. And with EFT tapping, you can see magically, I worked with so many kids, their anger comes down, their emotions come down, how to handle, how enable them to handle their cold, cough, everything. Especially even zero kids के साथ आप emotional freedom technique कर सकते हो. Even few months, small babies, 2-year-old, 3-year-old, you can help them overcome their emotional challenges through EFT tapping. How they can handle trauma, how to handle child's tantrums. If the child is being throwing tantrums in the marketplace, how to handle that. What you can do to build the personality. What you can do to help them overcome their fears. कुछ बच्चे डरते हैं, बात करने से डरते हैं, स्विमिंग पूल में जाने से डरते हैं, कुछ भी साइकिल चलाने से डरते हैं, टीचर से कुछ बोलने से डरेंगे, पेरेंट्स से कुछ. तो हाउ टू हेल्प देम ओवरकम दिस फियर एंड इनसिक्योरिटीज दैट दे हैव. समटाइम्स चिल्ड्रन आर वेरी पोजेसिव, मम्मा को छोड़ के कहीं जाना ही नहीं है, बाजू में चिपके रहना है, दे आर नॉट फ्री इन द वर्ल्ड. How to change that? How to change disciplining your child without, being very strict with them, without using the stick to beat them. and how to identify personality. We'll be talking about temperaments. We'll talking about the Myers-Briggs personalities. We'll be talking about how your child is, where he is on the journey. So it's a lot more thing to understand. जो मैं, I even if I take 100 seminars, I don't think I'll be able to cover. But in this program of Akriti, we are going to be doing it in detail. We are going to customize it to your needs, because you may see 1,000 videos on YouTube about parenting tips, and they are good tips, but it is not working for your child. How many times it happens? माता जी मैंने ये ट्राई किया, ये उसके साथ नहीं वर्क करता है, मैंने ये भी ट्राई किया, ये वर्क नहीं करता, because you're constantly on YouTube exploring, or constantly on Google here and there exploring ways to help your child. But if I can teach you how you just know it yourself, you will never have to look for any टिप वीडियो, मुझे टिप्स दे दो मेरे बच्चे को संभालने के लिए, क्योंकि हमारे पेरेंट्स के पास यूट्यूब नहीं था ना, हमारे पेरेंट्स के पास गूगल भी नहीं था, they were just handling us. So we need to learn that method, that mechanism, that whatever your situation is, you will be empowered to handle them yourself. You will know what to do with your child, because every child is different. No Google best 5 tips or five. Yes, you may imply some may work, some may not. You may use it as references, but you will always have to customize it for your child's need. It will work for your child, it will not work for your child. We can't say. So how to always know what will work for your child? That is what you are empowered with during the Akriti. So even if you have done before, I can, request you or urge you that the module 3 will benefit everybody. Okay. So these are some things that we are doing. We are starting on 21st of October. I'll tell you about EFT a little towards the end, because I want to really complete the second half as well, because it's very, very important that I'm going to talk about. So the module 1, अगर आप कहीं से सीखने जाते हो, तो it's going to cost you not less than 30,000 rupees. Because we are doing it from the farm community, it's a seva. So we are offering it for 8,000 only. Yeah. Second, homeschooling model के जितने भी आप teacher training course देख लो, it will cost you 63,000, plus they don't even teach you the science and the what's and how's in detail that we do. So here we are offering it only for 12,000. And the third module that is there, I mean, I'll tell you how much I have spent learning everything, not less than 3 lakh personally, because I've done my emotional freedom technique, neuro-linguistic programming, matrix re-imprinting, Reiki. There are so many things that I do. And I know more than 200 processes to work with children. Yeah. So it had cost me lakhs of rupees. Even if you just learn, one level of EFT, that is minimum 35,000. And what here we are giving you many things customized as a parent for your parent-child relationship for just 7,000 rupees. So कहीं बाहर जाओगे तो 1,28,000 से नीचे you'll not pay. I'm not exaggerating the figures. I could have put 3 lakhs over there, but I'm really not exaggerating the figures. You can check it for yourself. For Seva price, individually 27 hota hai. If you're paying lump sum, it's 21. And only for today, because I really want to close the registration as quickly as possible, we'll offer it for 19,500. So if you want details, it will go straight to the temple account. So if you want details, you can connect with me personally later, because I don't want to spend this time is for your seminar. I don't want you to feel cheated that I brought in this in between, but I just felt like, it will really help you. There's so many things that will benefit understanding your child in and out, that you will, I never go to YouTube watching videos कि मैं मेरे बच्चे नहीं सुन रहा है मैं उसके साथ क्या करूं, right? I don't do that. So you will also not need that ever. Okay, it is just like learning it all, learning, understanding any child in the world. That will be it's more easier, for a mother or a father to understand their child rather than anybody else, especially mothers. The reason being, they have been with you the longest. Right from the womb, they have been with you. If you seek it in your heart, you will know what your child is going through. Nobody else can tell you that. And I can, a person like me, a coach, a healer, a counselor can provide some benefit, but unless it's your relationship that is strong with your child, that counselor will be a lifelong process. Yeah, that is why it's like a mission to me. So I'll just take 2 more minutes of your time for those who are new to this group and those who don't know me. So we were working in Mumbai. We had a company called Healing Corner, where we work with a lot of people, on their various life issues. monetary issues, health issues, life issues, like lack of confidence, procrastination, fear, phobias, claustrophobia, agoraphobia, you name it. And we've worked with allergies. Let me tell you this, in my experience, 100%, but clinical data proves that more than 85% of all these challenges are coming from their childhood, more than anything. 85%. In my experience, 100%. मेरे जो छोटा data था of hundreds of people, I think I must have worked with 700-800 people. In that, my experience is 100%. बचपन से ही आया सब कुछ. But clinically, जो बड़ा database है, उसके basis पे, it is more than 85%. And it all starts in the childhood. And that's when I thought, I don't want my child to go through any of this. I may have made mistakes. I'm not saying I'm a perfect Zen parent जो हमेशा शांत रहती है. I can become very Rudra when I'm angry. But then it's all about empowering your children to deal with that as well. So I can do that. So after my anger tantrum that comes mostly from me, we have a session of EFT where I tell my children, I'm sorry. Yeah. And you work with them. So that is the reason we are offering this. We are doing, this is the 4th year we are doing Akriti. पहले ये शिशुवाटिका online program के नाम से था 2 साल. Then we had one full Akriti program to last year. And then this year, last year I took a break. And this year we are refining it and presenting it in a better way. So you can connect with me if you really want to do this. And now we'll continue. So EFT, what it is, I'm going to be talking about this a little later, okay, towards the end. It's my focus. So I want you to take 2 minutes. I'm going to just mute myself as well, have some water, and just reflect on this, okay? I'm sorry. Okay, sorry. I'm going to just ask you to reflect on this statement. Is this disturbing? I'm putting it up here. Just reflect on this statement. This intellectual age of ours is too strongly oriented towards being right. We have gotten completely out of touch with our need to comprehend all things in life, not just as logically correct, but also as in tune with reality. Just let it sink a little. Read it once more. I'm not going to talk much about it and make you overthink this. You can take a screenshot of this and just save it for future, ruminate on it. जैसे गाय चारा खाकर फिर उसको चबाती आराम से बैठ के. You need to ruminate on this. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a story now. So this is a story of Geet and Govind. Okay, so there was a couple and they had a daughter. Okay, Geet, and she was wonderful, a very playful child, amazing person, very energetic, and everybody loved her, and everything is nice. Okay, now comes a very planned. Okay, so we are excluding the first reason that I gave you for children to be difficult. So now comes Govind in the family. So this Govind is very good himself. He is also very creative. He is also good energy. But sometimes, he is sensitive. Sometimes he is not as obedient. Sometimes he is very energetic. Sometimes he misbehaves. So there's a lot of things happening with him. So there is a constant comparison. गीत तो अच्छी है, गोविंद ऐसा क्यों है? नहीं, डोंट टेक मी रॉन्ग, बहुत बार गोविंद अच्छा है, बहुत क्रिएटिव है, उसका थॉट प्रोसेस बहुत अच्छा है, उसका माइंड बहुत शार्प है, बट पता नहीं थोड़ा अलग है. हैपेंस, कितनों के साथ ऐसा होता है. Then slowly Geet starts changing as well. What's happening here? And I know Geet Govind ke parents. Okay, these are not real people exactly, but let's say I know Geet Govind ke parents, and Geet Govind ke jo parents hai, they are perfect parents. Okay, they did everything right from Garbhadan Samskar to giving time, playing with the kids, no mobile phone, everything that I told you today. They have done everything. And yet, Govind is difficult. What could be the reason? Put it in the comment box. What could be the reason? Why do you think? Comparison? Yes, we can say that. He's constantly compared to his elder sister. It can be vice versa in some cases, but let's stick to Geet Govind's story, where one child is being difficult. Why? Expectations. Okay. Whose expectations? Child's or parents? Focuses on his negative behavior. Yes. Parents are not happy with him. Yes. Parents' expectations. Yes. So when parents are expecting the younger one also to be like the elder one, Govind to also be like Geet, or Geet to be like Govind, vice versa, can happen in some cases. What else? What do you think is happening? Uniqueness. Yes. Every child is unique. Generation gap. Yes. Time gap between two kids. Yes. More focuses on the difficult child. Yes. He's testing parents' capacity to give love, even with the way he is. Yes. But he's a very loving child as well. Google. Yeah. So what happens in these cases? Okay. Great answers, all of you. I'm very happy that I have already very conscious and alert and knowing parents who are aware of emotions. Okay. So congratulations, all of you, first of all. Give a pat on your shoulders. But what's happening in this scenario where you have been the perfect parent and yet your child is not easy? It's the inner purpose of the child, the child's karma, the child's own impulse, and the child's own destination. It can be different from yours. The personality they carry from their past lives is going to come and play a role in how they are, irrespective of you doing everything right. You may have left your job, आप सब कर रहे हो, फिर भी आपका बच्चा आपके संभाले नहीं संभल रहा. They are having their own personality. They are coming from many lives. So it's a kid, remember? That's why I made it into a abbreviation like this. They have their own impulse, their own energy, their own mind. They have come for a good purpose, They have come with a purpose. They have come, they bring a force with themselves. They are come to achieve something. They have their own destination. And they are going to pull that. We think, some of you had said in the beginning, they are not, their world is different from our world. True. Their world can be different. Their world, we have to align to it. Our goal may be कि बस महीने का 2 लाख कमा ले, अभी के हिसाब से, बाद में तो और ज्यादा होगा. जस्ट आई एम गिविंग यू एन 2 लाख कमा ले, अच्छे से शादी कर ले, अच्छा इसका घर हो, उतना ये रिस्पॉन्सिबल बन जाए. दैट्स वेयर आवर फोकस इज. That's what we are trying. Most of us, I'm not saying all of you, please don't start fighting with me. Nahi Mataji, hum aisa nahi sochte. I'm saying most of us, I'm giving an example. Most of us are trying that this is what I want from my child, this is what he should do, ऐसा ही बिहेव करना चाहिए, सबके सामने सीधे बैठना चाहिए, यही गेम खेलना चाहिए, ऐसे रहे तो अच्छा है, ऐसे बात सुन ले तो अच्छा है, टाइम टू टाइम खेले, टाइम पे उठे, टाइम पे सब करे तो अच्छा है, you know, we think all that. But the child has come with his own impulse. The child brings his own energy, his or her. Okay. Don't mind me when I'm saying just his, I'm used to because I have sons. It's just that it's his or her. Okay. And when they are coming with that force into this world, they suck in everything. They disturb you. They cause disturbance. They cause disturbance at a physical level. They cause disturbance at an emotional level. Okay. Is your life the same after having kids, even if you have a wonderful child? Ask anybody, even if they have the most obedient and wonderful child. Tell me yes or no. Is your life the same that it was in the college or the same that it was after marriage? Every major event changes you completely, it disrupts you, and that is bound to happen. We have to be mentally be present for that and be prepared for that. The child is coming with their own karma, it's going to clash with us. They're coming with their own impulse. We have our own impulse, and it's not going to, the wavelength may not match. हमारी frequency अलग है, बच्चे की frequency अलग है. And the child has its own destination. They are to reach somewhere. Did Srila Prabhupada's parent thought tomorrow he is going to be Srila Prabhupada when they were naming him Abhay? You know about Prabhupada. If you read Prabhupada Leelamrit, the founder Acharya of ISKCON, that is the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, he's an Acharya, Jagat Guru, you know. And how was he as a child? Headstrong. Prabhupada was always headstrong. जिद पे अड़ जाते थे तो अड़ जाते थे, नहीं तो नहीं, अभी करना है, रथ यात्रा करनी है मुझे, मुझे खिलौना चाहिए, मुझे एक नहीं दो बंदूक चाहिए, नहीं दोगे तो रास्ते पे लेट गए थे, मुझे अभी के अभी कचौरी खानी है, पूरी नहीं चलेगी, मीठी नहीं चलेगी, रसगुल्ला नहीं चलेगा, मुझे अभी के अभी कचौरी खानी है, कचौरी बना के दो. That's how Prabhupada was. He troubled his parents. He was very headstrong, very stubborn, not aligned with the will of his parents. But who did he become? Srila Prabhupada. That Abhay Charan Day became Srila Prabhupada. You know, so children have their own destination, and sometimes it will be very difficult for us to really understand what their purpose is, why they are in this world, you know, why they have come, what they need, what they want. And because of this misunderstanding, is there anybody in this group who thinks that they are different from their family? आप अपने family में सबसे अलग हो. होता है ना कभी कभी ऐसे कि हम भी अपनी फैमिली में थोड़े अलग ही थे. And your child may be that different one in your family. Maybe they have a different journey altogether. We are not to bring him on our journey. We are to let them be on their journey. But we are supposed to empower them. That's it. Support them. That's it. That's our only seva. You know, there's a shloka, Janani Nasasya, Guru Ranasasya, Pita Nasasya. I'm going to give you the reference later, but the shloka implies is don't become a parent if you cannot liberate your child. Don't become a teacher if you cannot liberate your, you know, empower. What does it mean that you cannot? You are not going to give liberation, but you cannot bring them to a path where they'll be liberated, where they can be elevated, where they can reach higher goals. You're not supposed to be take up that responsibility then, because the soul is coming through you. You are the parent, but you didn't create it. They are just using you as parents to come into this world. The soul selected you as their parents. That already means you are the right parent for your child. No other parent is going to be child correct for your children. So no YouTube video, no link, no, not me, not anybody is going can teach you what to do with your child. I cannot. Nobody can. I can, you know, work on an issue, but overall to empower your child is in your hands. And for that you need to understand this, that is a kid with, next time whenever you think of kid, remember this: karma, impulse, and destination. They come with their own karma, they bring their own impulse, they have their own destination to reach. And you are just to support them on this journey. You are just a stepping stone. They are going to fly tomorrow. So what you need to do is do your seva correct and empower them with all the tools necessary for them to be in the world tomorrow. And with the speed it is going, the development of AI. Our childhood, we didn't have television, and now they have AIs. You can see the rapid growth in technology. Do you think asking a student to study artificial intelligence will be a good future planning for 20 years later? I don't think so, because AI will do it for themselves. Very handful of technologists. The future is that we'll need more of farmers and artisans than any of these. That would be the future. We would need people who could be real people and not artificial. We would need people जिनके साथ बात करके हमको अच्छा लगे. We will need human beings in the future. We will need those sympathetic human beings in the future, because we'll be so much surrounded, so much disconnect we have. Amazon, you buy your stuff, you buy your groceries online, you can buy anything online, anything. You don't have to step out of the house. So much lack of interaction with human beings are happening. आप पहले की तरह लिस्ट बना के लोकल बनिया को दे के जाके बिल लिखवा के उनको नहीं बोल सकते हो कि ये सामान घर पे भिजवा देना, give some discount. That's not happening anymore. That's not happening. Everything you're going online for, and that personal connection is missing. So you are the only personal connection for your child right now, and that's so 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 important to develop. Yeah. With this, I'm going to give you three important things, three steps that you can take whenever you are angry and losing it. Because I think when your child is difficult, you lose your mind, right? Am I wrong? Do you lose your mind? I lose my mind. I lose it big time. I get super angry, but I consciously make myself employ these three steps, because in the middle of the process, प्रोसेस के बीच में ही मैं रोकती हूँ अपने आप को, चिल्लाती हूँ, चिल्लाते चिल्लाते रुक जाती हूँ. And then I employ these three steps. Stop, wait, and go. Simple. I'm simplifying this for you. Okay. Stop all the communications when you're triggered. जब भी आपको गुस्सा आ रहा है, zippy the lippy. You don't have to talk a single word, क्योंकि गुस्से में हम कुछ ऐसी बातें अक्सर बोल देते हैं जो बाद में बहुत रिग्रेट करते हैं. So it is better to shout it out. It is better. My husband is coughing in the background because he's the recipient of my anger most of the time because I'm saving my kids from it. So he's coughing कि पहले खुद practice कर. Yeah, it is difficult, but that's what you try to do. You stop all communications. And this is something I learned from him, by the way. He'll just go, mom, he'll get out of the house when he's angry. Whenever you are triggered, stop. Wait, let the phase pass. Let that anger cool down. Do self work, do tantrum tapping, go in the bathroom and shout loudly, hit the pillow, whatever it needs you, whatever you need to do household work, do cleaning, whatever you need to do to let that anger cool down. And then go and talk to your child. Start by saying, you are a great kid. I appreciate how good you are, and genuinely tell them about the good things that they have. You do everything on your on time. You are an intelligent boy. But this is something I didn't like. And maybe not use the word but. This is something I didn't like. When you behave this way, when you are not there, this makes me angry. It makes me, I lose my temper, because there has to be a because I worry about you. I worry that if you don't come home and study on time, you might fail in exams. You might not do well. You might not score well. And that's a point of worry for me. Okay, just an example. Be human in front of them. Be vulnerable. You have to express with vulnerability, and you have to express with mindfulness what you're actually going through. The reason I ask you to stop is because why do we get angry? Because we have built a story and something is not according to the story. मेरे ड्रीम प्लान में ये क्या आ गया? मेरा एक ड्रीम प्लान था अपने बच्चे को लेके, और ये क्या आ रहा है बीच में? What is happening? So this is what is happening. उसका ड्रीम आ रहा है और क्लैश कर रहा है. What we saw in the previous slide. The impulses are clashing, the temperaments are clashing, the destination is clashing, the journey is clashing. So we have to stop and think, why am I getting angry? Why am I really angry? What's triggering me? Most of the time, the anger will be on your own self. You may not be angry at your child. It is your anger at your own self for not feeling competent enough to handle your child. Isn't that true? Isn't that what you feel?
So,
That you are more angry towards yourself than your child? You may think like, oh, my child is making mischief, but consciously you understand he's just a child. What you're really angry at is, I want better ways to handle them. That is why it is important to stop all communications. Think why you're getting angry. Work on it. Let that anger cool down. And the moment you start thinking like this, your anger automatically starts to come down. That is a weight. And then go and express it. I felt angry because of this. And I feel angry when you don't do this. What can we do about it? What do you want from me? When you have this communication, you will see that the child will give you the solution. Trust me. It happened with my child. I would feel very angry when he would not study on his own. And I used to lose it, whenever he didn't study on his own. And one day I just spoke to him. So he told me that, Maya, I just want you to sit with me and study. I like it when you are sitting with me and studying. That's what he told me. So we said, then we worked it out. I cannot always sit with you because I have to look after your younger one as well. And I have my own work to complete, which I feel if I give this to you as your task, I'll be able to do this on my own. I'll do my work on my own. This was the communication we had. So we came to a conclusion, okay, 1 hour I'll sit with you, we'll study, and the next 1 hour you do your work. So I'll sit, I'll explain, we'll understand, we'll discuss, and then I'll give you a task. And in that time, don't expect me to sit there with you, which was agreeable. Deal done. And then that aspect is taken care of. But it will not last long. Okay, ऐसा नहीं है कि एक बार बात कर ली बच्चा हमेशा याद रखेगा कल से गुड बॉय बन जाएगा. No, this has to keep repeating. You have to stop it, go and repeat it whenever required. And that's how you go through the parenting journey. You cannot master it until they are married and they become parents. Trust me. So first of all, it's important that in your mind, you are calm and centered, and you know that this is bound to happen. You have to accept this and then let go. Okay. So with that, I conclude my seminar. Any questions for me? Anything you have? I'll talk about EFT like you asked. Anything else? So I